All right, y'all. Welcome back. And this is the midweek chat. We have a lot of things that we'll be covering today. Obviously, joined by Ruck from Straight Up Tennessee. Y'all make sure to go check his channel out. Does great work. We got Timmy G and we got JPatt in the house. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Number one thing, y'all wanted to get the trivia thing done tonight, but for some reason it's just not working. So we'll try to work on that for maybe like next week or maybe for Saturday. Y'all please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And fellas, where I want to start off at is gonna be with 4-star edge rusher. Okay, we got to talk about this. Dre Quinn, who I think he is a very good football player. Okay, we'll pull up his highlights here for you. So he starts off playing, or like last year, he played at GAC. Now he's playing at Buford. I had a chance to see him, obviously, several times and then talk to him. This was maybe like a month ago, the last time that I spoke to him. Felt like he was locked in with Clemson. Now I think he's about to flip. I can tell you all that just straight up. I feel like Tennessee is in a really, really good spot. We needed to go out and add those edge rushers like those Leos, because I think Joshua Josephs, and definitely after watching Caleb Herring versus Georgia, those two players are probably going to be gone. So we need to add more players that can give us that depth there. But, man, like, we have to do that every single season. We're doing a great job with our edge rushers, strong side ends, Leos, whatever, doesn't matter. But I would say that for me, like, his player comp for people like someone that everyone might know or should know is going to be Joshua Josephs. He's about the same, I'd say close to the same height, 6'3 and a half, 6'4, something like that. Very long arms. Looks a lot like him on his film. Looks a lot like him whenever I'm watching him. In person, he has that dog in him, so on and so forth. But what are y'all's thoughts on Dre Quinn and possibly flipping to our Tennessee Volunteers and helping us get to maybe a top 5 class? Like, we'll see. But, Ruck, I'm going to start it off with you, big dog.
Yeah, man, I like this kid a lot. When he committed to Clemson, I was kind of hurt because I was like, man, like, he's down the road. Like Buford, man, there's a few high schools in Georgia that Tennessee has just been owning. Buford being one of them, getting Jaden Perlotti there, and getting a lot of other guys like that. And so I feel like you get a guy like this. And with the success of Clemson right now, I mean, goodness gracious, I think you want to go to a program that's trending up, and Tennessee sure is trending up. Coach Chop and Coach G just do a great job of building a foundation with their families, man. And I think that is what is winning these kids over more and more daily. And so I'm with you, Bull. I don't think I won't be surprised if we see some flip action with Drake very, very soon.
Yeah. So, Tim, what's your thoughts? Oh, wait, and hold on, Tim. I have to say this real quick because Ruck's talking about Buford. The two players that you just named, somebody had a very big role in them coming up to Tennessee, baby. Hopefully we have a role in this one too. I'm just gonna tell you, we setting up pipelines. It's not just Buford. We got our hands in a lot of different places. We doing it for the Vols, dog. So, Tim, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, man. I mean, number one, if you're taking a visit from Clemson, you're not doing that lightly, right?
Yeah,
because they're basically, I mean, normally they'll disown you if you go on a visit, right? Supposedly, I mean, obviously they haven't done this to him, but that's the kind of seriousness if you take another visit. So if you're looking around, if you're taking visits, I wouldn't call myself committed, right? As far as that goes. And with Daboing things up, I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to get out and look around a little bit, but Dabo's going to Dabo,
that's a fact.
Also, man, I mean, I think another guy that they had there too was the Virginia Tech, Andrew Rogers, wasn't he there? I mean, that's another guy. I know On3, which don't get me started on them in rivals, but anyway, I know. I don't want to sour it, but they have Dre Quinn listed as like DL. They've got him ranked as a defensive lineman, and they've got Andrew Rogers listed as an edge, which I thought was kind of strange. But
Dre's multiple though. Like he can slide inside. I think they're just basing that really off of this senior tape too, because he's been playing a lot more inside, doing more work because they're a little beat up at Buford right now.
Right.
So
right.
So I'll say this: he is a Leo. Like, he is a Leo for
100%.
sure. Yes, he is a Leo. He's not a guy that I look at and I say strong side in, which, I mean, I guess he could play, but he's a real pass rusher. He's got the twitch, he's got the length. And that's, again, that's something that Tennessee definitely needed in this class. We already got Hezzy Harris, he flipped from Auburn, but we did need to add more depth. Some of the other players, I would say really probably most of the other players that we got playing at edge, if not every single one of them, all more like strong side end, can maybe grow into like a defensive tackle. But this young man right here, Dre Quinn, that is an edge rusher. That's a pass rusher. That is a, potential potential first round draft pick coming up in about three or so years for sure. So, Tim, what's the rest of your thoughts, bro?
That's it, man. I mean, I've heard nothing about but good things about this kid. I didn't realize he was at Buford until you said that. So yeah, awesome on that. Like Ruck said, we've definitely created a little bit of a pipeline, which Bull might have some responsibility on some of that.
Yes, sir.
By the way, your boy is it Dustin Baker? Running back?
Justin. Yeah, Justin.
Justin.
Hey, man. Hey, that kid got swole. Last time I saw him, I was like, man, he don't look like last time I seen him. Yeah, but
he's gonna be a dude.
That boy, he's upped it a notch, right?
Yeah,
like
sure.
he looks. I was like, dang.
He's gonna be a dude, bro. He's gonna be a dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then last thing that I'll say, and then JPatt, we're gonna let you have your piece, but I think that Andrew Rogers, who is teammates with Faison Brandon, I think that if Dre Quinn wants in, he's the one that we're taking first. That's what some of the insiders have said. We've kind of like hinted at that. So we'll see, man. Like, can Dre get it done pretty quickly? I don't think that Tennessee's the only team that he's looking at. I'll just say it that way. We got to close, okay? Like, he likes Tennessee. We have to close. But JPatt, what's your thoughts?
So I was just looking at, like, as I was checking this out earlier, trying to get a little bit more in deep dive on Dre Quinn, because like this just kind of just happened, like as far as what me finding out about it and everything. I got excited first off because it's right there in your backyard, Bull. Like that's that's Tennessee country. Like I call Buford Tennessee country because I feel like you're going to help give them that sway. Like, even just like, hey, check them out. Anyways, like that's exciting for me. But like I'm watching this young man's film, and this is a dude. Like this young man, he really does, like you portrayed it perfectly off of like a Joshua Joseph's kind of comparison. I think he has all those intangibles. He has that speed. He definitely is a Leo. He's not playing in the center of the line. He's going to do that maybe in high school just because he's going to be able to push around these guys in high school a lot better than he is going to be able to push around a college interior line. And he's got that speed. He's got that burst, quickness. And Dabo Swinney doesn't let anybody take visits. Like, look at Isaiah Campbell last year. He literally decommitted before he took his visit to Tennessee, and then boom, landed at Knoxville. Like, so like this is good stuff. Like, he has a few other people that's showing interest and everything, but I just look at like the Dabo train is like somebody's like I don't know, put the brakes on. I think he done it to himself by doing some of the stuff that he's done, but that's not, for me to speculate. I just think that like it's that time. Like, I think Dre Quinn, I'd love to see that young man in orange, and I'd love to see.
Oh, hold on. Dang. You know what? My fault, bro. All right. So
it's all good.
Please carry on, dog.
No, that's what I was finishing up. I would love to see him putting quarterbacks on their back. Like running backs in the backfield, quarterbacks, like busting out in coverage if he has to on some of these little slit screens and all that crap. Yeah, I see him as that dude. Like, with his size, his athleticism, I think he's going to be a fantastic addition, and like, he's just going to keep pushing this class forward, which is what we need, especially with what On Three and Rivals just did to us.
Yeah, that is pretty funny because it just happens every single year. It feels like, and honestly, I don't even think that Faison and Tristan Keys, I don't know if they like really. I guess maybe they did drop, but it doesn't really, like, you got to take the actual rankings and all that with a grain of salt. Watch the film. Do the guys look like they can play? Can they fit into our system? That's really all that matters at the end of the day. Last thing that I'll say about Dre Quinn is that what we just looked at, that was his junior film last year at GAC. He transferred to Buford this year, and he's playing like in a similar spot where Buford plays a three-man front. If you can get pressure from that spot, it's going to be, I think, even easier to do it playing on the outside, but he is a very, very good football player. We've got other guys, obviously, playing at Buford that are super, super talented. We actually lost one that transferred up to, like, South Carolina. If we had those three, I mean, it probably would be, like, the best front three, maybe in the whole country. I mean, it's just crazy. All three of those dudes, like close to being 5-star caliber. Whole point, though, is that Dre Quinn is the real deal, and I am excited about the opportunity to get to flip him. Now, y'all, I want to talk about something else, right? So, number one, I know that we have UAB coming up this week, okay? Do y'all have any thoughts on that? And then once we kind of like get done with the thoughts on how they look, and all that with Tennessee, or maybe even like at the same time, we can talk about what changes do you want to see from Tennessee coming off of the first 3 games, not just from the Georgia loss, but from the other ones. What are y'all looking forward to seeing from this team? What do we need to get better at? And Ruck, I'm gonna start off with you, bro.
Yeah, I've been pleasantly surprised with this team. I think if we take this back 4 weeks ago, I don't think any of us would have expected exactly what we've produced so far, especially with how poor the defense has been playing. I think that has been the biggest disappointment for me. We talked about this on Sunday on my show, and my boy Dylan said, "I'm tired of Tim Banks getting all of Rodney Garner's credit."
Oh, man.
And I said, "Dang."
Shots fired.
You might have a point, though, because what consistently has been great these last 4 years, we put Matthew Butler in the league, y'all. Like, Rodney Garner put Matt Butler in the league. He wasn't going to the NFL before Rodney Garner. Like, and so I think that is like, okay, let's see what happens now, because this is a huge bounce back game. I think, you're looking at UAB, Tennessee's probably going to win this game by as much as they want to. But what do we look like doing it? I think you talked about that earlier, Bull, today on the video you dropped. But it's like, what do we look like doing it, man? Like, I don't want to go out and win, 50-10 and they still threw for 350 yards. Like, that's not helpful. And so it's like, what do we look like moving forward? I think UAB has some dudes, man. Like, they really, really do. Trent Dilfer didn't bring in just trash players. And so I think, you get the Kitna transfer from Florida, right? John Kitna's son. Like, he's got DNA, NFL blood in him. And so he's going to play football. He's going to ball out. But it's like, to what extent can we make this just look like an absolute train? Like, can we just run a train through this entire team? And so I just want to see us get more efficient in third downs. Man, it's terrible right now. Fourth down even, man. I think teams are going to look at our fourth down number over our third down number and say, shoot, if we're in 4th and 5, let's just throw a slant, because they can't stop it. And so I want to see us clean up the third and distance, fourth and distance. First and second down, man, it's been great for us. We're getting people in third and longs, but we're not closing. So I guess, Bull, if I had one word, it's just, I want to see this team finish. That's it. Finish.
Yeah, and so what y'all are currently looking at, this is UAB's offense. So in the video that we did earlier today, I think that some people felt like I was saying that Tennessee might lose this game. That was never nowhere near saying that. What I was saying is that, their defense, our offense should be able to put up points and do pretty much whatever we want to do. Talked about a couple of things that we need to work on. And I feel like the defense can get challenged. And again, you're looking at their offense. They have a nice passing game. We talked about this versus Syracuse. Whenever you have a good scheme, it's tough to stop. And you can see it here. Very, very tough to stop. I think that they play hard. They are well coached. And I'm not saying that Tennessee's going to lose, but I want to see how the defense – this is a perfect game for the defense to get tested. It's a perfect game for Coach Tim Banks, who I think is a really good defensive coordinator. I know people are being hard on him. Think about what he's done with this. Like, think about the amount of talent. Like, the talent gap was ginormous with us earlier on. Like, it was just huge versus a whole lot of these teams. And, for them to just be able to kind of like hold up, he finds ways to do things well. And this is the last thing that I'll touch on here just very, very briefly, is that there's, I think, like 2 types of thought with coordinators. It's, hey, we're going to try to coach it where we have the answers to everything and, try to make it perfect, which you can't do. It's just like playing chess. You can't play chess without losing some of your pieces. Even if you win, you're going to lose some of your pieces. That's just part of the game. So some people think more on that end of the spectrum. Then there's other people who say, okay, we've done the research. We know what their big things are. We're going to stop that. And, we're going to give this, and we just want for the guys, dumb it down, let them play fast. I think that Coach Banks is more on the first side of that. And whenever you're talking about a Kirby Smart, not Nick Saban. Nick Saban stuff is super complicated. But like with Kirby Smart's defense, it is very simple. You don't see his players out there doing a lot of talking and stuff and moving around. Like they'll do some. You have to do some, but it's not like us. Us, every single play, we're moving sides and just doing too much. Like we need to dumb it down versus certain offenses, and hopefully Coach Banks will get that figured out. I don't think that this is one of the offenses that we do that versus because it is that good. But last week versus Georgia, we definitely could have done that. And I think that we'll see that as the season wears on. The Georgia's offense is not going to look the way that we made it look. So that's where the issues are. But let me go on to you, Tim. What are your thoughts with UAB and maybe what do you want to see Tennessee get changed?
Everything I want to see get changed is all on the defensive side of the ball. I don't really have anything. I want to see us run more, obviously, but I think we're going to be able to run for pretty much whatever we want to versus UAB. That I want to see. But most of my stuff is just defense, man. We've talked about it before, setting the edge. Can we contain, like set the edge, make them turn inside? That needs to be better. Tackling just needs to be cleaned up a little bit. That was one thing in the Georgia game, some missed tackles. Look, it's nothing crazy, man. Offensive line, I'm just blown away with how good they've been so far this year. Really impressed by them. But like I said, the only thing I really want to see cleaned up is mainly on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know enough about UAB to really comment on them outside of what I watched on your video earlier today. It sounds like they've got some pretty decent sized running backs back there. So, I don't know if they are, what are they as far as game plan? Are they normally 50-50? Are they mixed?
Yeah.
Or are they primarily run first? What
yeah, so they are very balanced. They try to be very balanced. In 2023, there were like maybe 51% run to 50 or to 49% pass. So that's how they want to live. Kind of similar to what Tennessee is this year. But yeah, they are a run first team that has a beautiful passing game. Is a lot of pro style elements. They're very multiple with what they do. They will try to get to space some. They'll probably try it in this game. That's not really what they do, though. Like their game, again, it's pro style. So they're going to set things up, just kind of like chip away, and then try to hit you with that big play down the field. I think they have a really good offensive line. Can we get the pressure, especially if they are trying to play action and take a big chunk? They've got some good wide receivers. I mean, this is a good offense. I'm telling you. Like I know people look at the logo and say, "Oh, this is UAB." This is a good offense, and I mean, I'm hoping that we play well versus it. If we do, that's a positive sign. It's not like one of these games that coming out of this, if Tennessee can hold them to like 10 points where we say, oh, well, doesn't matter. That was just UAB. No. That is a good offense. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a perfect challenge for us. But I'm going to go ahead and get to you, JPatt, and then we're going to jump inside of these chats. So y'all just bear with me. All right, I see people chatting it up, but we'll get to y'all here in just a minute. So, JPatt, what's your thoughts?
So you said a whole lot of what I was fixing to say, and
sorry about that, bro.
No. You nailed it, Matt. Like, so with me, like, I want to see us like, can we keep a little bit consistent on our tempo? I feel like our offense does a whole lot better as long as we're running our tempo. And I understand like certain points of the game, like we're gonna have to slow it down or whatever, but like that's something I think that hurt us against Georgia. Is when we started taking and just letting up a little bit on the throttle. Like we need to, like, especially against teams like Georgia, even next week against Mississippi State. And Mississippi State's got the same type, like Jeff Levy come from the same, that's Josh Heupel's, like that's his family tree of coaching. So like next week when we get there, like he's going to have that kind of mindset. But at the same time, like, can we keep our foot on the throttle? But and then defensively, like, I'm going to say this, and I know he had some plays that were rough, but Tyler Redmond, to me, as a true freshman in Game 3 playing against the Georgia Bulldogs, who's stacked with amazing talent and everything else, like that young man, like he fought and he never quit, and like that right there is the epitome of what I want to see in a football player. Like that young man, he's going to be special. As a 18-year-old young man, true freshman, that young man's going to be special. I have no doubt about that. Like that dude is a dude. And we got, Javen Jackson, I think Javon or Javen, I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's 5'8", 210. like, he's gonna that's the guy that I'm pretty sure that we were just showing running the football a lot. Like, he's got some size to him. Jalen Kitna, 6'5", 225, both of them redshirt seniors. Jalen Kitna, Florida transfer. But I mean, Trent Dilford's going to have his offense ready because that's what he does. He's an offensive minded person, like he played quarterback. So I think as long as like we gotta clean up some tackling issues, and like I would love to see the Jadens, the linebacker Jade, Pilati and Harmon get some burn. Ed Spillman, I thought, had a fantastic game against Georgia, but I'd love to see the Jadens get some burn in this game. Like, we get out there, we set the pace, we make them try to keep up with us, but our defense can get it shut down. Like, that's what we need to do. We need to set the standard on defense. Get some youth. Like, let's get some of the youth help in, linebacker, corner, safety, all across the board, and let's let these guys come out there and show us what they can do. Give them their moment when the moment's not too big, but just big enough for them to come out here and show themselves. That's what I'm hoping to see this Saturday.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and jump into the chat, and then I'm going to get to some of the things that I would like to see Tennessee maybe change up. If y'all think of some things, of course, man, y'all are always free to chime in. And then we could talk a little bit about Mississippi State too, because y'all brought it up, and I know that the people might want to hear about that. So from Matt SS saying, "Go Vols, baby." Appreciate you for joining us, Matt. Yeah. As always, Dirty Higgins saying, "Go Big Orange." You already know, go Vols. Dirty Higgins is also saying that I have always thought that Herring was going to be great. Yeah, he looked great last weekend. We need for him to build off of that. That type of confidence goes a long way with players that have that much talent. All right. And from David Speaks, it said On3 likes to think that they know everything. Look at 2023 quarterback. Yeah, you know what? That is funny. And actually,
that's real.
That is real. We was just talking about Arch Manning, who, I was watching – obviously, I watched a whole lot of his film from like last year, and it's like, man, he just looked a lot better. Was talking about, man, it seems like he might be hurt because his throwing motion, it's different. It's not super different. It's just slightly different. I'm curious because, man, his talent level is crazy. Nico's talent level is crazy. But all that just to say that you can miss on that. You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of it is almost like a mental thing with these players. You can have all the talent in the world, but it's some luck. It's, staying the course and so on and so forth for you to actually be able to go out there and make it to that next level. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why it's so difficult. It's not because there's not enough people who are talented enough. It's just because for you to get there, it's a long road. Like, you got to wait those 3 years coming out of high school. It is not easy to do. So David is also saying that that was supposed to be generational. Okay, all right, yeah, got you on that. That we need to Kent State, UAB, and move on to Mississippi State. Yeah, I think that this is a game that we can't overlook anybody, especially Tennessee's defense. I don't like what we did last week. Like I've stated, I feel like once we see Georgia play some more, they're very talented. They'll beat up on the teams that they're supposed to beat up on. But whenever they face a team that's talented just like them, if they want to do quick screens and deep passes all the time, their offense ain't going to be doing too much of anything. And like their running game, you want to always run to the outside. There's no like, in between the tackles running. I think that they're going to struggle with their offense. Their defense, to me, it honestly doesn't even look that great. And I'm not saying that to be a hater or nothing, y'all. I'm telling you, they have no real dudes up front. The Kirby Smart defense is predicated off of you need to have game wreckers up front because their coverage is mostly 4. People are playing off almost all the time. So if you cannot have somebody like on that front 3 that can just wreck the game, it's going to be tough. Or if you can't get there with those blitzes. But now people have figured out, hey, all you got to do is just throw at the freaking middle every time that they blitz. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that you have to do, and you will be able to generate plenty of yards. So saying all those things just to say that they're very talented, they might be able to pick it up at some point. They typically start off the season slow. Some of those guys that are 5 stars, very highly rated, might turn into dudes. But until that happens, I think that they are going to be in trouble. I think that Alabama's going to beat them not this upcoming weekend, but next weekend. I think that that's going to happen. So Tennessee needs to win out. We have to take care of business because that win might not, or that loss, that close loss at home, might not look as great once the season's over. That's just how I feel about it. All right, so I'm going to try to get to more of these, man, and then I'm going to let y'all chime in for sure. I'm just trying to get through these. Okay, cool. So, hey, thank you for doing that, just like chiming in with them. So John is saying that I'm waiting for Peyton Lewis to break loose. And right now he is okay of Jalen Hurd. You know what? I think that's a pretty good comp.
Y'all think about this though. Think about Jalen Hurd was 100 and something yards away from being the all-time leading rusher in Tennessee history and went to go play wide receiver at Baylor. What?
That's Bush Jones, baby. That's
Bro,
just brick by brick.
Yeah, that was one of the most predictable, most easy to read offenses in the whole world. If the running back's on the right side, it's a run to the left 100% of the time. 100%. Like there's no 99. 100% of the time. We had a run of just horrible coaches, but yeah.
Dude, Alvin Kamara being one of the least utilized weapons in the Tennessee offense is insane to think about.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, Timmy, like, wow.
That was a wild time.
What a joke. All right, so I'm going to try to get to just a few more of these. So Lofton is saying the defense been playing well despite the losses in depth. There's a lot of guys that were gassed versus Georgia playing 50-plus snaps. That is an excellent point. And this is something else too. Like, I'm about to get to my changes, but that's one that I just now thought of because of you, Lofton. We have to, and I mean, it's going to be tough for us to do it now. The defensive line needs to get more reps in practice. Okay, we can still rotate guys, but there's no reason that Notre Dame could play the entire game with just 3 defensive tackles, and they weren't really getting gassed. But our guys, and I think we've gotten better at it since Syracuse. Versus Syracuse, we were super gassed. Cool. Versus Georgia, it wasn't as bad. We got to start doing more of that. They have to practice more. That's just me. But what's y'all's thoughts on that?
I'm with you 100%. I think more reps, man. And y'all know this, though. Like, practice reps just aren't the same as game reps. You know what I mean? Like, as much as we want to say it, but yeah, man, we definitely didn't look as gassed against Georgia. But man, something's off with Bryson Eason, man. I don't know what I don't know what it is, bro. I'm watching him and I'm like, bro, you just ain't got that same kind of get off. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I get that, but it also could be like who's around him as
maybe
well on the deep line. All right, think about this. We lost 1,000 pounds on the defensive line, over 1,000 pounds off 3 players. 3 players was over 1,000 pounds of pure muscle and aggression, right? Big O, Omar Norman Lott, and Big E.
Dog.
That's a lot, man. It's not as replaceable. And plus having Jackson out and having Hobbs out, like, oh man. But listen, that's football, right?
Yeah.
Like you're never going to be full strength. You're never going, because that's just the way it is. Somebody's always going to be dinged up. Somebody's always going to be hurt, and you gotta. But that's what's made Georgia such a great team for so long. Stacking talent, stacking recruiting classes, and Heupel's starting to get that. He's getting there. Good Lord, the leaps and bounds this program's come from when he got here. Well, how many was it transferred out? 26,
34.
Yeah. It was an astronomical number of people. Like, hey, we're out of here. And some of them made some bad moves doing that. But hey,
yes, they did.
Is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. And then you know what? Something else. Obviously, once we do get our 2 defensive tackles back, that is going to be a huge influx for this defense. That's going to be huge. And Tennessee's actually going to need it more moving forward. I mean, I'm going to tell you, I think that this is a game that Tennessee could definitely utilize more of our defensive tackles. The young guys are getting their reps, but I'm thinking to myself, why in the world didn't we go to the transfer portal and try to get a guy that could maybe play a little bit more? Right? That maybe was a little bit bigger, that was a little bit more ready to play. Because, I mean, like, if you want to rotate 6 to 7 guys, you knew that you didn't have 6 to 7. You were hoping and wishing that the young guys would step up. Yeah. Feels like they are going to get there. But, I mean, come on, dog. Like, it's things like that. Obviously, money doesn't grow on trees. But looking back, man, that might have been a little bit of an issue. But hopefully guys will get healthy here soon, and it doesn't feel like it as much. Pat, was you about to say something, bro?
No, I was what Timmy was saying. Like, I was completely agreeing with it. Like, that's 100%. Like, that just, like, it was we lost that. Like, we lost what our mainstay on the interior of our defensive line. Big E, Big O, and then Omar Norman Lott. Like, all 3 of those guys, like, they were detrimental to what was the center of our offense or our defensive line. Excuse me. Our defensive line, and they were run stop, like they were plugging holes. Like, that's a lot of man right there in the middle. And like right now we're missing Jackson Moy and David Hobbs. Like, so just those two being gone, and like we're trying to have to like recycle and replace, and then bring up younger guys. Like I haven't seen a whole lot of like Isaiah Campbell. He's a freshman, but like I haven't seen a whole lot of him yet. But like I look forward to that. Like I look forward to the growth of this team this year, and like what we're actually going to be. And this is game 3 last week. Luckily we're coming back. We're going to play UAB in game 4. They're not a slouch by any means. They're going to have some offensive weapons. They're going to have some offensive stuff that we may not have seen up until this point. Like maybe not. But either way, I think we're going to have this one kind of there. But I'm looking to the linebackers to where that's what I'm really looking for, because I don't think Tyler Redmond's going to have a problem this week. Colt Hood, neither one of them. I do want to see the safeties tackle a little bit better. They're not tackling as great as I would like to see them tackle, but I think Turntine and Farouk, I think they can learn from what happened, and just I see this team as like we're right there on the cusp of what we need to be. It's slightly little bit more depth as far as like mature depth, more than just true freshman depth of being. And by the end of the year, I think we're going to be all right as long as we stay in it and we keep doing what we need to do and we grow every week. I think we're going to be all right. Like, I'm truly excited about it.
Yeah, so I'm going to get to just a few more of these chats, and then we're going to talk. I'm going to tell y'all some of the things that I would like to see Tennessee get changed. I would hopefully over this week. But so Dirty Higgins is saying, isn't Banks the secondary coach? You would think that would make a difference. He is a secondary coach, and so he's the more like the safeties coach. And actually, I don't even know how much he's actually doing that now. I think he's more just like the DC. It sounds like Coach Nez is coaching safeties more. It's Coach E.T. that's coaching the corners. So I'm not sure what Coach Allen Williams is doing. He's probably like helping out both. But yeah, I mean, it's some of it is going to be coaching, like fundamental stuff. Some of it is just, I think, honestly speaking, like safety, it might be a little bit of a talent problem. Like with Andre Turntine, I also think we have to put them in a better position to be able to make plays, like dumbing things down and just letting them play more free, like keep them over the top. They don't need to come down and play in the box so much. Like Georgia's safeties, they don't really do too much of that. And I'm not saying that we want to be like Georgia, but I'm just pointing it out that you can have a really good defense without having to get that done or, like without doing those types of things. But I'm going to get to this one right here. All right. Where else are we at? Okay, so this one right here, last one from Lofton SR94. And, of course, we will get right back to the chat, but we're going to end it here for now. Saying that Harmon probably is going to be the starter next year. Real dog, really out of place. And I think that's a perfect way for me to kind of like segue into what I want to see happen more. Number one, I think that our linebackers played really bad last week. It's like the same issues, and that's what's very frustrating to me. It's one thing to make mistakes, but if you consistently make the same mistakes over and over and over again, year after year after year, I can't personally trust you to get that fixed because you haven't done it yet. Like these are the third-year players, talking about Arion Carter and Jeremiah T-Lander. I want to see more of the young players. I went through and watched every single snap that Lofton had, not Lofton, but Harmon had over the course of the year. I think that he's pretty close to being ready. This is a game that he needs to play a lot because he needs to get ready. We need players who can play better out in space. And then the other Jaden, same thing. And what's going on with Jordan Burns? I have no idea why he's had less snaps than either one of the Jadens. That's a big time problem for me. So that's number one. Number two is, like I said, man, dumb things down with our defense, make it simpler. Number three, I would like to see some sort of a change, and this will never happen. But if we could maybe get Andre Turntine switched out for Boo Carter, people have thrown that out there. I feel like that would be a great switch. I know that Andre knows what to do. Boo might not know as much. Playing safety inside of this system mentally is going to be difficult. Not saying that anyone's dumb, but there's a lot that you have to learn. And then what else? I want to see our running game pick up with a couple of small things. You know what I'm saying? Like I would say that we have got to get our running backs doing a better job on the second level. So outside of that, I feel fine with everything that we've been doing up to this point. But those will be my biggest things. What are y'all's thoughts, Ruck? And I'm gonna start it off with you.
I mean, you're right on, man. I think you talked about this, and I talked about this too. It's so important that if we're saying that the young guys don't have time to be young, then why are they not playing? Like if there's a guy and listen, The thing that we knew about I'm just using the wide receivers as an example. The thing we knew about the wide receivers coming into this season was this was the most talented wide receiver group that we've had under Heupel. But we didn't know how good they would actually be when it got onto the field, right? So now I'm flipping it back to what I'm saying on the defensive side of the football. If you have guys that are more talented, give them a shot, bro. Like let's give them a drive or two and just see what happens. Because Ed Spielman, he's ready to go. He's a dog. He's got to play football for me. I would start him over Thielander right now.
I think so.
Right now. And then who's right next? Jaden Harmon. He's the next person on the field for me. In the back end, I think now we're seeing that, man, Andre Turrentine, my boy, you've been playing football for Tennessee for the last 3-4 years, man, and nothing's changed. Nothing's changed. Jalen McCullough made you look better in 2023. And that was what opened our eyes, right? And so now we're just seeing how bad we are. Idris Farouk, man, he coming up and hitting anything. Yeah. But we need you to kind of chill out a little bit, like drop back in coverage a little bit, get into your zone. Like that ball is going to get to you if you get in your zone a little bit better, Idris. So like ultimately, man, it's just understanding like y'all, I think JPatt, you were just saying it, like we're stacking classes, but can we get them on the field? Because in this new NIL era, if they ain't on the field, they going to be on the field somewhere else. And so I just want to see our young talent get opportunities. I mean, Bull, you've said this multiple times, and I was with you last week. I thought Miles Kisselman might have played the worst that he's played against Georgia. Then I was shook because I was like, man, is he really this slow? And I was like, yes, he is. Is he really dropping the ball on 3rd and 9? Yes, he is. And I was like, where's Jack? Where's Design Brain? Like, if they ready to play, man, like let's just give them a chance. And so I'm just leaning more on this game right here, man. Let's get up 2-3 scores, whatever we have to do. I don't even care if we don't cover the spread, bro. Like play the young guys.
Yeah. So the one thing that I will say about Kit is, man, him and Ethan Davis, they really blocked their asses on.
Yeah, they sure did. That is one thing they did.
Yeah, and I think that might be maybe why the younger guys haven't been playing as much. It sounds like Ethan Davis might have an injury. Don't quote me on that, y'all, because I'm not.
Yeah, he dislocated his shoulder, but
okay, but
they popped it back in
that during the game, and then they popped it back in because you can play with that. Like that's not a real injury. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you have to play through that. So all that I'm saying is I think that the young tight ends will get more of a chance this week, and they're probably going to be better as pass catching threats. But from a blocking standpoint, my goodness, they had a really good game blocking.
Them dudes are different in that.
Yeah. So Tim, go ahead.
The only thing I'll say is once again, let's going back picking on the defense a little bit. And I think we saw this, and I've seen this in every game, is communication. Can we have better communication? Because why do every team we look like we're playing against a tempo team when they ain't tempo? We ain't set. We can't get our feet under ourselves. We're grabbing guys. No, man, you're over here. We got people moving people. Like, what's going on? Like, can we have a little bit better communication, and can we get set so it looks like we're ready when the freaking ball is snapped, when they're not a tempo team? Yeah. Like, that's one thing that gripes me, man, but that's me. I normally find little things, and it just drives me up the damn wall. Last year, it was always the running on 3rd and 12, but hey, we ain't doing that no more. I didn't see any of that. Play calling was great. Scheme was great. We've got routes going everywhere now. Wide receivers are looking good. Farouk is physical. That kid is physical. He's a dog. Just needs to tackle a little bit better. But that's just part of it. He's a young kid. Ty Redmond, can't say enough about that kid, man. The only thing I'd say about that is, like, why are we leaving him on an island like that so much? Why ain't we giving him any help over the top? He's a true freshman. You're going against Georgia. Like, I don't know, just a question. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
I think so too. I do. And
like,
then
you
also,
can't give him a safety over the top to help out. I mean, I don't know, man. Look,
yeah,
I'm not getting paid millions of dollars a year. I'm sure
right.
they see things and know things that I don't. These are just questions that a dumbass fan has when he's sitting here watching the game on the weekends. But that's all I got to say about that. And I see somebody else just made a comment, and I agree. But that was something else I complained about. But I'm not going to give the guy a bunch of flack. Just take better angles. And you already know who I'm talking about. So
Okay.
anyway.
Yeah, I would say that, excellent points by everybody so far. Of course, Pat, I'm gonna let you rock, but I do have to say this: with us not getting set quick enough, the plays are coming in way too slow. Which goes back to my point that we're trying to get into the perfect play call every time. We move around so much because it's overly complicated. We want to be perfect. We don't have to be. Just call something that's gonna stop what you want to stop and let us go play football. That would help us out in a major way. But Pat, what's your thoughts, bro?
That's exactly my thoughts. Like we have the athletes out there. We have those guys. So let's get a call in. Let's get even if we have to get a little bit of a tweak to it. Like these guys, like we have the experience on the field. We have the athletes on the field. So let's give them a little bit of a chance to make that play. And exactly what Tim was saying, like give Ty a little bit of help over the top, especially if he's like lined up on Zach Branch or Noah Thomas. Like these guys, like they're not scrubs. So this is a young man, true freshman. Like give him a little bit of help, and like, and I still believe completely that dude's going to be a dude.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
look for him being all conference, all American, whatever, something next year at the least next year. If not this year, he's going to get some accolades for being that. But like get a little bit of help over the top. Can we get a little bit more speed at linebacker? Like that's something that at the efficiency. I'm still not seeing as much people haven't been like hitting us too much in the middle this year already. But I'd love to see a little bit more speed out there at linebacker. I understand having the guy that's had the time on the field, had the experience and everything, but like, can we let these athletes play? Like that we've got some real dogs sitting there just barking, trying to get into the game, and they're not barking like a bunch of ugly butts, but like they hound dog barking.
Yeah.
They holler, and like let them get out there, like especially this week and probably next week. Like and this is no diss on Mississippi State because they're growing, they're doing their thing. They had their tragic events, and then they're having to start all over, and that's tough on them. But like it's not here nor there. Like this is football, so next week let's do the same thing. But let's focusing on this week. Like let's get some young men, some burn. Let's get them out there, get them in some sets going to make them uncomfortable. That way they can adjust to it. They can learn from it. Like, 'cause I guarantee you one thing Tyler Redmond did since Saturday was learn. That young man watched what he did and watched a few little tweaks because there's minor tweaks to every play that was against him. There's just minuscule things that he could have done different. And I bet he is learning those right now. That's like literally, that's what I'm happy to see because he was improving during that game.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it's always tough, but I know that Red would say that, man, he don't want no help over the top. He said, I want to do it. I can man up. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, obviously, if you're going to be the starting corner inside of this system, that's really what you got to be able to do. I think that his coverage was pretty good most of the time. I mean, he was in a good spot most of the time, but it's tough. There's little things like y'all said, that little push off. He'll learn how to kind of like lean into that. It's like little tiny tricks that he is learning. I think he's going to look a lot better moving forward for sure.
Oh,
so, and teams will continue to try to pick on him every single week.
Yep.
He's going to get his chance to rectify it. You know what I'm saying? All right. So I'm going to get to this chat some, and then we're going to talk about Mississippi State because JPatt, you did kind of open up that door for us. So Sam is saying that we're 2 miracle fourth down plays in the Syracuse and Georgia games from only giving up 22 points a game, maybe. That's down our top 2 defensive linemen and secondary players. I'm not too worried about the D. So, and you know what? That's a very positive way to look at that for sure. I would say, though, last season, if obviously not being down our top 2 cornerbacks, we couldn't have done that, but we could have been down our top 2 defensive tackles. And I think that we would have had a better looking defense. This defense is not, I don't think right now is not what it was last year. I think it's several steps behind that. I don't think it's anywhere near that. So we're going to have to get into shootouts. It's tough. Really tough having a quarterback that's such a gunslinger to be able to win those shootouts every single time. The defense does need to get better. I don't think that we need to be panicking, but that's something just for me personally. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong, but I think we need to be watching that. Like, we got to take some strides. And once we get people back, should look better. But y'all give me some quick thoughts on that. And then we're going to go on and try to get caught up on these chats. So, Ruck.
I'm with you, man. I think we don't need to panic yet, but we do need to get better and quick. And I think you got 2 good games here. You got UAB, who's going to test you, and then you've got Mississippi State, who runs pretty much the same offense as you. So, like, it's you versus you with less, like, their athletes aren't as great as the athletes that you've been practicing against, though, in the offseason. So I think you just be better, man. We got to be better all around, and I think it'll allow all of us, man, to just kind of take a chill and just relax a little bit.
Yeah, Tim, do you have
good. On that? No, man. You guys have done a good job with it. I ain't going to add anything much till we get to the Mississippi State. Yeah.
Okay, Pat. Any thoughts?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we've got a good structure. That's what I look at. Like, we've got the base players. Like, we have really, really good players, and they're hungry and they want to be there. And I mean, you look at the youth in our defense right now. I think every play is just another play that they're going to learn from, and they're going to grow. And you give these young men a little bit more time, they're going to develop. They're going to get physically stronger. They're going to get mentally stronger. Like, I just see this team getting better and better on defense throughout the year. And we have to improve there because it's not the same as it was last year. It really isn't. But we're also playing without Jabal McCoy and Ricky Gibson on the corners. And, granted, I'm a whole fan of Colton Hood and Tyler Redmond.
Yes.
So, if we had a little bit of time, like, because those young men are out there playing, 80, 90 snaps. So, like they got no, like, true help, especially against Georgia. Like, this week, they're not going to play 80, 90 snaps. But, like,
hopefully not, man.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't see it. Like, if they are playing 80, 90 snaps this weekend, then we really do have to have that conversation. But I see us, like, we're on the upward trajectory, and, like, a few things done differently, and then we're not heartbroken on Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening, 7:30. So
yep. Okay. All right, y'all. Great point. So I'm going to try to get through these. So Lofton is saying that the wide receiver screens are Tennessee's worst nightmare on defense. It's like they don't. Okay. And so this is what I'll say about that. We do have to play a lot better out in space. Some of it, and I almost hate to even say this publicly, but some of it, man, I just think we have to be more physical, setting edges everywhere. That's got to happen. Like, we got to be dogs. We can't get held. And we were getting held, like on Zachariah Branch's touchdown. We had 2 people get held. I didn't realize watching it live, but the way that Tyler Redmond got held, he literally was separating from whoever was blocking him, and, like, they're pulling his jersey. The referee's standing right there. But I think that the biggest takeaway for our players is don't expect the calls. Like, do what Chris Brazzell did. They interfered with him. You go make the catch anyway. You got to make the plays anyway. You can't ever think that you're going to get a call. So yeah. I hopefully we'll be able to play with that type of dog. And I'm just going to try to catch up real quick so we can get to Mississippi State. So T-Lander is too slow, but Banks' defense doesn't help. Always seems like our linebackers are okay. Yeah. So yeah, I don't even know what to even say about. I mean, you're definitely right. I would say that for sure. I mean, like, our linebackers aren't playing like linebackers that are playing off instincts. They're playing like linebackers that are thinking, or they don't know what the hell is going on. That's got to get fixed expeditiously, or Tennessee, it's going to be tough for us moving forward. If we could just get that one thing fixed, we could do everything else that we've done normally. Everything else, same game plan, everything. Get the linebackers to stop choosing the wrong hole as often as they're doing, that's a big way. I mean, shoot, that game wouldn't have even been close, I think, versus Georgia. So this one right here from Lawton is saying that once he can turn and play the ball, he's going to be dangerous. So talking about Tyler Redmond, I think so. This one's from Chris Todd. I heard ESPN say that Georgia was a national championship contender after beating Tennessee. Funny how we were predicted to be in the middle of the SEC, but now beating us makes you a contender. That's how things go with the narratives.
Man, I've been thinking that all week. Like, wait a minute, man. Like rivals and some of their clickbait shit, calling it a stunner. What was a stunner? You predicted us to lose, you bunch of assholes.
I thought we were trash. I thought we were trash.
You said we were going to lose. We weren't no good. And then like, oh, it's a stunner. Oh, my Lord, I'm so shocked. We said this would happen, but I'm shocked that it happened. Shut the hell up, man.
What was it? Instant classic. That's what they're portraying, like their headlines. Instant classic. But in the beginning of the year, we're garbage. We're nothing. Joey Aguilar is going to throw 8 million interceptions. And
we lost Nico, right? The world was over.
Yeah, we lost.
Tennessee can't win. They lost Nico. He's 0-3, and the coach got fouled. I love it. It's hilarious.
I love seeing all them. I love seeing all these fools eat crow. Like every day, they're having to eat crow. All these pundits, like every one of them out here having to eat crow.
They never do it, man. They never back up. They just keep. They got another stupid tape to follow that one.
They grab another nail and try to hammer it in.
The commissioner of football, Josh Pate, said like the 3 teams that he had in the national championship game, and 3 of them lost on the first day. Alabama, somebody else, it must have been Notre Dame. Like, what happened? Look at that. We ain't gonna get on that. But
I think his brain cells left with his hair follicles.
Yeah, man. So I mean, that's the tough thing, right? Is that whenever you're doing the national stuff, you got to be able to know something about everybody. There's no way
it's impossible
about every single one of those teams to really be able to give you real accurate stuff. But let's talk about Mississippi State. I'm just going to give y'all some of my quick thoughts. Like y'all touched on, same offense that Tennessee runs. They ran the football better than anybody else on Tennessee last season. We had to be able to stop the run with the lighter box. So defensive tackles, defensive line period, going to be a huge deal. Linebackers are going to be a huge deal. We saw the linebackers getting running themselves out of the play way too often. Safeties, the alley stuff. I think really everybody, they're going to put a ton of stress on our defense. With the choice routes, they got some guys on the outside that can freaking fly. They have a quarterback that has a cannon. Their offensive line isn't great, and I don't want to talk too much about this. I think that we'll talk about it on Patreon, though, y'all. That they have a huge tail that you can tell when it's a run or when it's a pass. It is extremely obvious. I might not even talk about it on Patreon because I want for them to keep it. But that's one of the things I'm like, dude, we should be able to key on that and have a field day on defense. But outside of that, I haven't really started watching their defense too much, but their offense can be a problem. I can tell you that for sure. So we're going to start with you, Ruck. What's your thoughts on Mississippi State if you've watched them yet?
Yeah, man, I watched a lot of their tape so far. I'm very excited about this football game for Tennessee. You have a Tennessee transfer playing linebacker for them in Jalen Smith, who left us. And so that's going to be always nice to go up against your formers. But I think Levy has got a little momentum. You beat Arizona State, which I don't know how good Arizona State is this year, right? But the one thing I love about this matchup for us is I love that it's not a night game. I think, we've struggled a lot when it comes to night games in the SEC on the road, hence going to Arkansas last year. And so I think going to this game, 4-15, I feel great about it. This is a game Tennessee should win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care I don't have a score, nothing. But Tennessee should win this game because your dudes are better than their dudes. And so I think it's going to be a good game. I think it'll be one of those where, hey, man, we might be like, hey, man, why can't we pull away? And then we end up pulling away. But I think Mississippi State, I'll have a lot more to say next week once we hop on. But I'm excited about this matchup because it's going to test us, man, because Brennan Thompson is a dude. He's a dude, bro. He can run routes. Golly, he can run routes. So I don't know. It's going to be a good matchup, but like I said, Tennessee should have no issues winning this football game.
Yeah. Tim, what's your thoughts?
I don't think anybody is going to request more cowbell after this game. It is going to be wild. It is going to be. Look, we got lucky. It's a 4:15. That's such a weird time for a start a game. That's just very strange.
Yeah.
When my friends like, oh yeah, but they're Central. I was like, what the hell's that got to do with it? That don't make no sense. I don't know, man. They didn't run well. I didn't versus Arizona State, and I'm not sure how good Arizona State is. Everybody does what they always do. They look at the way the team was the year before and go, "Oh, well, they were a playoff team." Well, guess what? So was Notre Dame. How are they doing? Yeah, not so well, right? So there's always that preseason bias, but you do have Josh Heupel going up against one of his disciples there, right? Jeff Levy. He was with Heupel at Oklahoma, I believe.
Yep.
It
might have been Missouri or maybe it was
UCF. He's
okay, yeah.
I think he's been with Heupel possibly in multiple locations.
Probably.
And he definitely spent some time with him as a head coach when he was at UCF. So he's definitely one of his disciples, and so he's going to know. Probably going to know what to expect, but can he stop it? Can our guys be ready for that environment? Because sometimes that can make a difference. Has Joey ever played in front of a bunch of whacked out Mississippi fans, drunk out of their minds, with cowbells in both hands? I don't think so, but. Look, outside of that, we should be able to kind of do what we want to do. I think we are the better team. I think I am impressed with what he's doing down there at Mississippi State and what he had and the situation they've been through. My hat's off to him on that. But I think I think we're going to be ready for that when time comes around. So
sure. Yep. Pat, what you think?
So Heupel, he's got Jeff Levy, but he's also brought in some of other people that he's been coaching with in the past. But I don't think this offense necessarily speaks to what it's been 100% in the past few years. 2022, Heupel was foot on the gas constantly, and he had to be. Like, the talent levels were not equal, but now that Heupel's got a lot of very, very solid players. And I think like the offense has changed up just a little bit. Like we kind of switched it up. We've added some wrinkles. Like I love the way this year's looking compared for the last 2 years. And it didn't even look like 22. This year doesn't look like 22. Like this year looks different, and it looks different in the manner that we're actually like the ball is not. It's I don't even know how to describe it because I'm not fully, versed on all of those levels, but like it just, everything looks different as far as like where the ball's going. We're coming across the middle a lot more. We're playing the deep ball, but we're also playing that shorter pass, and we're not just throwing a screen pass. We're not just throwing a screen pass and with two blockers and stack bunch and all that stuff. Like it looks a lot different, and I think with what Heupel has added with Seth Luttrell this year, it's going to add that. Like, and then playing defense, like like Ruck was saying, like they got some dudes on wide receiver, but I think we got some dudes at DB, and I really feel like Colton and my dude Ty, like I love watching that young man play, man. Like just watching him play, like it just gives me energy and excitement about next year and into the future. Like just watching him and Colton, because Colton's going to be here next year too. But like,
I think Colton's on a pro, ain't he? Because what? Because Colton is a
sophomore.
Red shirt sophomore.
Red shirt sophomore. Yeah, Colton.
Okay, he could. He could. Yeah, he could.
He might be back next year though.
Yeah, I feel like. Yeah, exactly. But I mean, like, I get excited about that, man. Like, just knowing that, like, because that's something that we've lacked for the past few years under Heupel, is that defensive, that coverage, and like now we have that. Because we know the offense is going to be the offense, but now in the defensive line, so we got Rodney Gardner, like they're and Chop, like so we know that's going to be good. So William Inge is starting to get his people in. Like this is his second year. He's getting his people in. He's trying to teach them his operation, how he does it. Like I'm excited about the future. Next week, Mississippi State. I think they'll give us a better game than they did last year. And Will Ferrell and Christopher Walken to be doing their Blue Oyster Cult cowbell game or whatever, but I don't think that's going to play a role in this. I think we got this, man. No Saturday Night Live.
Yeah. All right. So I think that it'll be interesting to see how does Coach Banks want to play this. How does he want to play Mississippi State's offense? Because he sees it every day in practice. Last year we did a lot of what Georgia did, running that mint front. So can we handle that? That'll be pretty interesting. All right. So let me go ahead and jump into the last segment, y'all, and we're going to talk about Tennessee's playoff picture. All right. And let me see if I can get this thing on up here. All right. So boom. So this is the SEC rankings currently. Y'all can see that Tennessee is second to last. It's only 3 games in. It's based off of how many SEC games have you won, and then there's tiebreakers with what's your overall record, so on and so forth. But this is where Tennessee's at the current moment. Try to take a quick little mental snapshot of who's up top. It's Ole Miss, it's Georgia, LSU, Vanderbilt, Auburn, Mississippi State. Okay. All right. So that's who's up top right now. We're going to move on to this. This is the remaining strength of schedule for all of these teams in order. Tennessee's down at the bottom. Ole Miss is up under us. What this should mean is that Ole Miss is in a great spot to make it to the college football playoffs. If they don't blow it, Lane Kiffin has a tendency to blow it. I think that this year we're going to get in probably 4 SEC teams because Notre Dame's in a kind of a tight spot. I think that we will get into 4. So all we have to do is just be top 4. With all that being said, do y'all think that Tennessee is geared to get to the top 4? And let me make sure that I'll show y'all what the remaining schedule actually is for Tennessee. All right. So get y'all's thoughts right. Ruck, we're starting off with you, big dog.
I'm gonna keep this short and simple.
Yes.
Love it.
Still one of the 2 between Alabama and Florida, because I know Florida is not very good this year, but you still have to play in the swamp, and we've struggled there for the last 30 years, right? So 20, correct, 20. And
Shoot.
so
I would
longer
say
than that. Longer than that. No, it goes back longer than that. We had over there.
I mean, even back in the 90s, we were strong.
Yeah,
I'm not even talking about the Spurrier curse. Like I'm pushing that out the side. That old man out the
My thing is still one of the 2. Still one of the 2. Shoot, still both of them, man. Nobody on this, nobody. I don't care how Oklahoma looks. We don't know how good Michigan is, y'all. Let's just be real. So I don't care. You got to come to Neyland. Josh Heupel's lost 3 games in 5 years, in the last 4 years in Neyland, through all 3 to the same team. Come on, man. Like, yes, Tennessee should make the playoff if we don't do anything ridiculous.
Okay.
Yes. Sir.
So Tim, what's your thoughts?
I could go with that. I mean, like the only game that really worries. I mean, it's so early in the season, and everybody we've seen play, it's too hard for me to really make any definitive calls on. Once again, how good is Oklahoma? Well, they look pretty good, sure. Well, guess what? Conference play is starting, so let's see how good they look in 2 more games, right? Yeah. Alabama, how is Alabama? Are they ass or not? I mean, beating some team 77-0 that I don't even know who you were don't mean nothing. Like it's just like, all right, but what does that mean? I don't know. The only thing we do know is Georgia looks pretty good, and Tennessee played a really good Georgia team pretty good. That's the best thing we see. South Carolina got dog walked by the Commodores at home. They don't know how to rank nobody. They don't anchor down. He dropped one. The only thing I miss is watching Beamer in that frustrated, panicked, oh shit face he makes at the end of the game when they start talking. And he just turns around and he. Anyway, man, I don't know. It's really early to see yet. I know Tennessee is going to be good. The offensive line was one of our questions rolling in this season. It's better than I imagined.
Yeah,
a lot of things are better than I imagined. If we can get Jamad McCoy back in time, I think we're in a great spot. I think we're going to be fine. I think we can get some of the DL a little healthier, get some of these young guys in, and keep getting them reps. We're going to be fine. We just got to play good, sound, fundamental football, and let's let Joey go out there and sling it because we know he's not afraid to.
Yes, sir.
Hey, go for it, bro. So
Yep.
yeah.
All right. So Pat, what's your thoughts?
So just, I mean, looking at what we got left, like, you know, yeah, we got Arkansas, but I feel like that one's circled just because like they ripped their goalposts down over us last year, and yeah, that can't happen again. But as far as like Alabama, Florida, no, Alabama, they have a decent team. Like, you know, Kalen DeBoer and Grubb or Crub or whatever the hell that guy's name is. He brought him back. Like he didn't have him. He went to the NFL and he came back. Now they're high fiving each other in chest bump. Whatever's going on down there. What Alabama's not doing is what Alabama used to do, and that's play defense. When Nick Saban was there, Alabama played defense. Like you can't put them up against a scrub Wisconsin team, and like and then that's the portrayal of what Alabama is. They only won like, you know, by a couple of touchdowns. You know, it wasn't like they just dog walked them, and they should have with all that talent that they have down there. But like I just, you know, this game against Georgia really set a precedence for me. I seen a few mistakes and I'm not going to point out anything other than I seen a few mistakes that could have landed us a victory in Knoxville. We didn't get it, but sometimes the best thing that could ever happen is losing early in the season, especially in week 3 against who is supposed to be one of the best teams in the SEC. I know we don't play LSU, but LSU just played Georgia, or not Georgia, excuse me, Florida, and couldn't barely score an offensive touchdown. It was field goals and then a defensive touchdown. Five interceptions, like 5 interceptions. DJ Lagway throws 5 interceptions, like, and these guys are supposed to be in the top 5. Like, come on, you can't score an offensive touchdown against Florida. Who is who? Nobody knows what Florida is because they're scrubs. Like the Billy Napier's a scrub. Like the Sunbelt Billy, whatever his name is. Like this guy's like so. Like the only thing, like this is the game, like because I know Brent Venables is the defensive coach. Like you can see what he was able to do at Clemson when he was defensive coordinator there. Like Brent Venables is a good defensive coach, and now he's got, you know, he's got the backing now this year. He's got John Mateer, but I don't think John Mateer runs the football on us like he does against all these other guys, because we've got guys that lay a helmet on John Mateer, and John Mateer hits the ground. And then John Mateer he gets up and goes, well, I don't know if I want to do that again because they get smoked. So, like, Idris Farouk going to come up and lay the wood. Boo Carter going to put that shoulder pad in his sternum. You know, like, all that. Don Bailey, like, Josh Joseph, Jordan Ross. Like, the list goes on and on players that are going to put a helmet in this dude. And so I don't see that being, like, really the highlight of what happens, especially when you're playing in Knoxville. We're not playing in Oklahoma where your grass is 3 foot tall and it's wet because game day's here and your grass is trash like it was last year. You know, it's not going to be. I feel like as long as Heupel keeps doing what he was doing in the first quarter against Georgia, like can we keep that same tempo? Because the defense was doing the same thing. It was feeding off the offense. Like the offense was coming out there and they were smacking on the mouth. Defense, they're getting hyped. They say, no, we ain't going to let this happen. Not in our house. And they smacking them in the mouth. So it's 21-7 in the first quarter. Joey A, 14 for 14 for 280 or something like that. Like, we got to keep our foot on the throttle. I don't care who we're playing, what it is. Hammer down, foot on the throttle. If we ain't up by 60, then we ain't up by 0. And that's like, and our defense is going to follow suit. Like they're going to come out there knowing that I don't have to play conservative. I can hit this guy and not worry about it instead of worrying about like these, 12 penalties for 89 yards or whatever that we had, and then they had 5 for 30 yards. Yeah, I just think that what we do on offense and what we do, it's going to help us on our defense, which is what's kind of showing itself that we need to elevate this year. And as long as our guys come out there and do that, I think that there's nobody, especially in the SEC, not that I've seen, that's been really like. I want to see Georgia again in the postseason. I want to slap these fools with their drool in their mouth. I just want to slap them in the
Yeah. So, all
postseason.
right. So, Pat, do you have us making it? Like, do you think that we're gonna make it to the
No,
playoffs?
yes, we are.
Okay. All right. All
We
right. Cool.
getting there.
All right. So I'm gonna say this just to get this thing wrapped up real quick. I feel the same way. I think the Tennessee's in a great spot. If you look at really, so Texas, they have a weak strength of schedule. Georgia, theirs is kind of weak. That's what they're saying, which to me is weird because Georgia's strength of schedule, what they have left, looks pretty tough to me. A&M, same thing. Ole Miss. So I think that the teams that are like at the bottom, that's probably about how it's going to end up playing out. But of course, we will see. Thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Y'all, please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to come back at some point tomorrow. I'm not quite sure what we're going to be talking about tomorrow on this channel, but we will be talking about something. So I hope that y'all can join us for it. Ruck and, to Tim G, JPatt, thank y'all for joining us. Ruck, his channel is called Straight Up Tennessee. Y'all need to go and check them out. Make sure to like, make sure to sub. But thank y'all. Sorry that we could not get to all the rest of the chats, but we will be talking to y'all tomorrow. Peace.
TBO.
Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.